Nurture yourself. Fill your cup first. Only when your cup is full, you're able to pour out your love, your energy, your help, your knowledge, experience to others.
Welcome to the UpliftHER Leadership Series, a segment on the Self-Care Goddess podcast, a special space where holistic self-care meets high performance and the feminine leads with grace, power, and purpose. This podcast is your pause in a productivity-driven world, a space to reset, regulate, and reconnect with feminine wisdom and visionary leadership. I'm your host, Rita Savoya, holistic nutritionist, trauma-informed breathwork coach, and founder of Breathwork Barista. Each week, you'll hear soul-expanding stories and thought-provoking conversations with women leaders, founders, and change makers who are redefining success and what it means to lead with heart. These are the conversations we need to create the future we desire, rooted in self-care, integrity, and soul-aligned leadership. Breathe in your power. Breathe out the overwhelm. And let's begin. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Self-Care Goddess podcast with this special segment, UpliftHER Leadership Series. Before I get to announce our next guest, I would love for us to practice what we preach here on the Self-Care Goddess podcast and really take a few moments. I'm not going to take too many, just a few moments to tune out the outer world and really tune in with yourself. I invite you, if you can, lower your gaze or even close your eyes to really go within and be present. How can we do that? Following the breaths flowing in and out of our nose. If you're feeling congested and this is a little tough for you, you can breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. A few inhales and exhales. I invite you to deepen. See if you can go and extend the inhales coming in to whatever count feels comfortable for you. And then the exhales. See if you can double those exhales coming out of your body. Just becoming more and more aware of the slightly cooler air entering the nose, and then the slightly warmer air leaving your body. In through the nose and out. I invite you now to use those extended exhales to soften any part of your body that you might be feeling some tension, some stiffness, maybe some discomfort. Allow those exhales to soften those areas. Maybe relax, sending some fresh oxygenated blood to those areas by extending those exhales and focusing on softening those stiff, tense areas. I invite you now to channel the inhales and the exhales to the area of the heart where attention goes, energy goes. So let's energize this beautiful organ that's keeping you alive by allowing the inhales and exhales to flow in and out of your heart area. And as you continue this heart-focused breathing, I invite you to visualize someone that you're grateful for today. Visualize this person as if they were right here in front of you. Acknowledge them and radiate all the love, the gratitude, and appreciation from your heart to their heart. And now I invite you to turn the attention onto you and give yourself some love, gratitude, and appreciation for being here, taking a time out for you, for prioritizing your self-care and self-love. On your next inhale, I invite you to flutter your eyes open and come back to us. Thank you. Thank you for participating in that quick coherence technique from the Heart Math Institute. So today on the Uplift Her special leadership segment of the Self-Care Goddess podcast, where high-performing women share their wisdom, lessons, and stories to inspire the next generation of leaders. Today's guest brings wisdom, heart, and a little bit of sparkle to everything she touches. Meet Lucy Chen, founder of Gifted Coaching, Chief San Francisco founding member, and a powerhouse who's mentored over 100 professionals across cultures and continues in both English and Mandarin. She's not only bridging worlds, she's building them. Lucy is an author of the award-winning book, Build Resilience, Live, Learn, and Lead, a must-read now, also published in Chinese. She's also the visionary behind Gifted Books, the first U.S. program guiding diverse voices, especially Asian Pacific Islander writers, from writing all the way to bilingual publishing. In 2025 alone, she's been a featured speaker at South by Southwest and received a Gracie Award honorable mention for her work in digital media. Basically, when it comes to women's leadership and elevating diverse voices, Lucy is leading the way. Now, let's talk fun facts. She's a total ABBA fan. Yes, Dancing Queen is her jam. She can't resist chocolate except white. She does have standards. And if she had a theme song for her life, it would be none other than Roar by Katy Perry. Lucy, welcome to the show. I can't wait to hear more about your global story, your work, and your sweet disco loving side that keeps you dancing through it all. How are you today?
Very well. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I'm so excited.
Yes, me too. So tell us a little bit more. I mean, you have an amazing, amazing bio. A little bit more about your personal journey and how it's influenced the mission that you're on today.
Absolutely. I love to spend time with every one of you and to share my stories here. So, to be honest with you, I wasn't this confident before, and I never really thought about being an author or speaker because, as you can see, that English is not my native language. I immigrated to this country, the US, 31 years ago with broken English, with probably only 300, 400 US dollars in my pocket. I was pursuing my master's degree in environmental engineering. And fast forward, for the past 3 decades, I switched my careers a couple of times from an environmental engineer to data analyst, quantitative analysis or analyzed, and then risk consultant, risk executive. Now, here I am, and I'm a speaker, and I'm a published author, and I'm a publisher. So just a lot of things happened in my career and in my life. And I can't wait to share every detail so we can go ahead. But now it's just a nutshell.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And it's interesting how you've changed these career or pivoted or sort of dabbled into different things. What was that driving force that allowed you to make that change?
Fundamentally, I believe keep on learning. I believe the growth mindset. So I push myself to step into unknown and just try it, right? To give it a try. And only when you step into the unknown and the areas that you don't feel comfortable, you push yourself and you can grow. Each of my career switches that I would say that I try to jump out of my comfort zone and to learn more, explore more, and develop more skills. So that's kind of the motivation to answer your question.
Exactly. Well, that's beautiful. But most of us are afraid, aren't we, to jump out of that comfort zone and really explore what's out there beyond. We all know this. It's definitely easier said than done, but we do grow through these, shifts or harder lessons or going into outside of our area of expertise. So what would be some advice from your experience to someone who's wanting to do this, but still afraid and remains, still at that status quo because it is safe, right? It is more.
Right, right, of course. And I've been there and done that so many times. So I have a lot of course, lessons learned and experiences and advice, right? So maybe I can just summarize to 3 points. One is you need to really believe in yourself, right? You need to say, okay, I do have a potential, and this is my current career or position or status quo, but I want to jump out of the comfort zone, right? And of course, I'm not talking about, okay, totally switch anything that step into there, any kind of a risk areas without testing. So the first step is you want to really, with the mindset and to make a plan, right? To think, okay, where is the area that you want to explore? And say, for example, I realized that lack of confidence when I had the public speaking. So I joined the Toastmasters. So one speech at a time. And looking back behind, wow, so many speeches that I've delivered, more than 100, right? So, but just take your time and pace it and to test it. So that's number one. And number two is you want to find an environment that's really supportive and friendly. So you are surrounded by inspiring people. So I want to mention about Toastmasters again, because this is the area that you can definitely try it and also get a lot of help and support. So I joined the Toastmasters in 2009. Now it's already 15, 16 years. And I'm still going there and going there very strongly. So this is really definitely a very friendly and supportive environment. So I could tell that I myself, I grow so much and I want to continue to learn. So keep the curiosity. And number three is you want to give back, because one person alone, you cannot be successful alone without other people's help. So with so much tremendous help, I want to give back. I want to pay it forward. And a lot of times it's not necessarily related to, okay, pay me back and I can see benefits, but this is the dynamic. This is the community that we want to build. So maybe those are the 3 pieces of advice I want to give everyone. Try with the small steps, find your tribe, right? Find and a friendly environment, and you want to be surrounded by inspiring people. And number 3 is pay it forward and build a stronger community.
Do you think those are beautiful, by the way. Thank you so much. Do you think it's personality has something to do with more embracing more of a growth mindset? Do you think it's sort of nature versus nurture, or is it a little bit of both? What are your thoughts on that? Does personality come into play?
I think it definitely is both. It's by nature. A lot of my friends are introverts. Say, for example, right? I'm an extrovert. I enjoy talking. I enjoy sharing my experience. I enjoy standing in front of everyone. But a lot of people are not in that nature. However, I would say even you are introvert, or you are not really fond of public speaking, still there are some areas that you're interested or channels that you could improve yourself. Right. And of course, remember the number 3 I mentioned about building a strong community. So once you are in a nurturing environment, you're like a flower in the nature with the nurturing soil, with the sunlight, with enough water, you will grow. You'll be blossoming, right? So that's what I believe.
Right. It's a little bit.
So both nurturing and healing and building yourself.
Right. And maybe even with the Toastmaster example, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're going to be giving these amazing, great, huge speeches, but it could just improve your communication full stop, just in terms of communication. So joining something like that is getting you out of your comfort zone, which, by the way, you've so inspired me to do this. So I'm very excited to join here in Toronto. So basically what I recommend people is see what you like to do and just find something that is out of your comfort zone within that. So it doesn't feel too stretched, but it's still a stretch. And it's interesting because, Lucy, I was like doing plays and dancing and all of these things in front of people when I was very young. And then also in my like elementary and high school, and then university came, Lucy, and I just lost my voice. And it's, I haven't really gone back to see what happened there, but I just really lost my voice. I could not speak for the life of me. And even prior to that, I was on a radio show and doing radio stuff during the university years, just lost my voice. And it was horrible. I would like turn beet red. I would get, my heart would start pumping, and to the point where teachers, my professors were like, Rita, like you need to speak up in class because part of your mark is participation. God bless this teacher. He was amazing in my master's program. He actually, we reviewed questions ahead of time. He would email them to me, so prepare myself. And then I was able to raise my hand. But Lucy, even just to get my hand up, my heart would start beating so fast. And it wasn't until I got out of that comfort zone and just got more used to it. Here I am now having a podcast, talking, doing keynote speaking, and it's still very nerve-wracking. I mean, I never get on stage and not be like really, really nervous, but now I feel like the nervousness is more excitement. So I'm excited to be there. So I'm reframing, and it's like, okay, like, I mean, public speaking is the number one fear, right? Even more than death. So I find something that you enjoy doing, or at least you want to improve on, and then get out of that comfort zone. So thank you for inspiring me to really look into Toastmasters myself. So I can't express the gratitude more for sure. But tell me, so all of these career changes, all of these, even just immigrating to the US, being an immigrant, having to learn the language and so forth, what would you say is, I know we probably have a lot, but a pivotal moment in your career that you faced a major challenge, and how did you overcome it?
Of course, yeah. So I'm glad that you asked me about my immigrant experience, and I shared so many times at other platforms, and a lot of people reach out to me and I feel that, okay, what I shared really resonated with a lot of people. So I came here in 1994. I mentioned that I had the broken English, of course, verbally oral English. I wasn't that good. And another reason was that I learned British English when I was little. So when I came to America, and a lot of the words pronounced differently, of course, I had to catch up and I couldn't really understand it totally. That kind of gave me the negative impression about myself, right? Okay, my English, but think about it, that I applied for UCLA for master's degree. I passed the GRE, I passed all of the English in the written test and everything. I should be confident, but I wasn't. And I had to overcome the fear and the really jump out of my comfort zone by raising my hand, asking questions, approaching others for asking for help and everything. So I remember, I included that story into my book there, that I remember that I always mixed up with the kitchen and chicken, right? So when I first contacted UCLA for my housing, and I said, oh, okay, thank you for all of the information, but I want to ask whether there is a chicken in the room. And so there's a pause, right? And then the gentleman said, excuse me, ma'am, I don't understand. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I meant to ask you whether there is a kitchen so that I can cook food. And he said, oh, there's no kitchen, no chicken either. So I was like, so embarrassing, right? And a lot of moments were like that. And also the measurement was so different because only the US are still keeping the British, the old measuring system, right? Feet, gallon, all of these, right? The rest of the world already used the metric system. when people ask me, okay, how tall you are, and I said, okay, 1.64 meter, and then they said, oh, I have no idea. Can you tell me the feet or inches? And I was like, oh, maybe I'm 5'10", and then they said, oh, because I don't look that tall. I was like, oh, I have to, but all of the embarrassing moments,
Right.
and I experienced, right, as an immigrant and also culture, when people mentioned about, okay, the band, Grateful Dead. What is it, right? So I mean, a lot of moments that I feel that I'm really lack of, and that's not very good for my own self-confidence. But I overcame with it, right? So I mean, so many times, and also each time that during my career change, there are some reasons. So say, for example, I mentioned that I switched from being an environmental engineer to data analyst. That's because I moved from a New York state, Buffalo, New York, to California, to San Francisco. I did not know that in order for me to pass a professional engineering is really based on the state. So California has two additional tests. One is a seismic, the other one is a land surveyor. And so I stumbled on these two tests. So I decided, okay, maybe this is a chance. And also part of the reason that remember Silicon Valley, right? So all of the techie, all of the technology advancement. So I said, okay, maybe I can utilize my math skills. So data analysis, statistical modeling, and etc. So just a lot of times said, okay, things happen for me to push forward and to learn to explore in the new areas. So just some small stories to share.
Yes, exactly. But I like you, I have an immigrant story too. I was 8 years old when I moved to Canada, but I didn't know the language. So I had to learn the language very quickly and then learn, because bullying was always around, especially if you were, a major target if you didn't know the language. So we were lucky that we were in an area where a lot of people spoke Italian and teachers did too. So that was one saving grace. But it was tough. It was really tough. But do you ever wonder what sort of qualities you were able to nurture because you went through that experience, that tough experience? You ever reflect back on that? Because I always say I'm very quick at sort of figuring out who's my friend or who's my foe, because I had to do that very quickly when I was younger, and also rely more on my intuition to sort of tell me this is not a good idea, or yeah, this is a good idea. So I feel like that experience has allowed me to really nurture those things that I just talked about. So sometimes, like you said, some of these things happened for me that, of course, back then I wasn't grateful for. I was actually really mad at my parents. Why did you take us here? You're going to go back. But now I'm super grateful because, yes, these experiences, and just the more for me, it's the empathy. When I see someone struggling with English, I tend to go over there and help them, or even slow down my English and pronounce more the words so that they can understand me. So right away, I sort of switch to that because I've been there, right? So that empathetic sort of experience has allowed me to be more empathetic towards others too. So these are just some of the things that I'm really, really grateful that I went through that, because so much good came out of it. Do you ever reflect on that? And what sort of things do you feel like, yeah, I'm happy that, that I did this or I went through this, because then this is who I am today?
Right. Of course. There are so many factors that impacted in my life and in my career, my life, and all of the things. So I would say there are so many factors, and maybe I'll summarize into three. One is I feel that I'm really a lucky person. I'm really fortunate. I'm born as a very optimistic person. So no matter what.
I'm curious now. When
you asked the right question today.
Today's your birthday.
Yeah, my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm so happy to have this conversation today because this is my birthday. But I always feel that I'm really a lucky person, really blessed person. Of course, part of the reason is I have fabulous, fantastic parents. They believed in me. They always instill the value that, okay, you're capable. You can go and you can go conquer every difficulties. Because My mom and dad, well, I can't say enough about them. They're really amazing. I wrote a lot of stories in my book about them. They were born in the 90s and they experienced the World War II. When Japan invaded China, they survived and they experienced the poverty, sickness, the separation, all of these, right? So themselves, they're my role models in terms of the discipline, empathy, resilience, right? So my book's name is called Build Resilience. So I learned so much from them. And I feel that I'm really fortunate to have a happy family who really always nurtured me, right? And number two is I can't say enough about the inspiring people around me. Remember, I mentioned about building a strong community. So when I first came to the US, I didn't know anyone, right? So my parents are here, but when I moved to UCLA to study, of course, just I was by myself, but I got to know the first American friend. So her name is Beth. And she and I have been keeping in touch and having a good friendship for the past 31 years. So she's amazing, right? Beautiful. She always said, "Oh, Lucy, you're so smart. You're successful. You're going to be more successful. You will be doing amazing work." So each time that I have conversation with her, and I just feel very encouraged. And so one experience or lesson that I want to share is you really need to find your community that you feel comfortable, you feel that you're nurtured, and so that you can grow enough and to grow tremendously. And number three, again, always pay it forward. Always help to build the community. And not really for your own benefit, but for everyone's. And I like the one that you mentioned about you experience the difficulty and you want to help others who is still struggling with the language and with the culture and trying to overcome the barriers.
Thank you. And yes, and you're right. And it's because I was there that I'm able to recognize that and do something about it, because I also had some really amazing people help me. Speaking of that, besides your family, who would you say was really pivotal in helping you sort of through all of these different stages? Is it your partner? Is it, like you said, your tribe? But who is it? Is it a woman? Is it a man? Would you say, like, what? I'm curious.
Yeah, both. I mean, of course, female dominated, right? Because I'm a girl, and of course, I have a lot of best female friends around me, and my family definitely. So my husband is also from China. We raised the three beautiful daughters, and I have my in-laws with me, help me to raise my three daughters. And otherwise, I could have never imagined that I could have three children here. So family first, and then friends, right? So I feel that a lot of times that I'd rather share more with my friends rather than share with my family, because I don't want them to worry too much, right?
Yeah.
I always enjoy talking with my female friends, spend hours on the phone to share my struggles, and we're listen to their struggles, and we help each other, right? And of course, I can't say enough about my previous boss, my colleagues who really support me for my leadership development. Say, for example, in Wells Fargo, my boss nominated me to go on this special training as part of the Asian Pacific Islanders leadership training. That's like a 3-day training. Everything is covered. I feel really empowered after that training. And I feel that's really honored to be organ. So I was part of the Young Professional Network, part of the Asian Pacific Islanders, part of the Women's Leadership Network. And now I'm part of the Chief. Remember when you first introduced me, I'm a founding member of Chief in San Francisco chapter. So all of the professional networks and help me. And now I'm part of the Dragon Boat, also part of the TG Taekwondo studio. So each place I go, I always find people who's really wanted to see my success. So that's why I hope that audience or yourself just find your tribe, help to build and strengthen the tribe for you and for others.
Yes. I see a theme here, Lucy, with our conversation. We've mentioned this quite a bit, and it's true. You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So choose wisely and choose people that support you, right? And it's like any really in sports. If you want to get better, you train with someone who's better than you, right? So that you can pick up their tips and techniques and how they do it, and how that's the only way you can elevate your game is by hanging out or training with someone who's actually better. And in the professional world, I don't see it any different. So it's really about understanding who you want to hang out with. And I actually have, like you, different groups as well that, you know, I do this with this group and this with this group. But yes, being out there and really networking or connecting more than even networking, I find is so amazing. And this is why I love doing what I do. And that's why beautiful women like you actually said yes to come on the show to uplift each other and be, you know, and expand and make this a community, you know, a digital community. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. So in terms of, you've done a lot. A lot, mother of 3 as well. And yes, you've had the help and the support and the network, but have you ever experienced burnout? And if so, what are some warning signs that we can watch out for?
Right. I'm glad that you asked that question, because to me, I think women tend to take care of others first, always put others' needs first ahead of ours. And that's why a lot of women tend to be really stressed out and couldn't really take care of their body and mind. And they go to that stage, the burnout stage. And say, for example, for the past 2 years, I have 2 close friends and got to send to ER. Can you believe that? To that stage. That's because they work too hard.
Yeah.
We're not really talking about, hard labor, right? You know, in the old times that women had to work, on the field and carry heavy lifting and all of the things, right? Really, we're talking about nonstop working constantly 14 hours, 16 hours in front of a computer, working on in meetings, projects, presentations, all of these, right? So you asked me about that. And fortunately, I never really reached to the point of, burnout. Amazing. However, I understood that I was in the brink of being that state. And luckily, I pulled myself out. And I paused. I thought about really being healthy is the priority in my life. So say, for example, during my pregnancy of my first daughter, I developed a carpal tunnel. Of course, it's the hormone, the water retention and everything. But part of the reason that I sit there for the whole day in front of a computer, 8 hours, sometimes more than that, that's not healthy, right? Breaks during the day, we're talking about, just not good. So I had to go into the physical therapy and really pause myself and to do massage, a lot of techniques, right? But that's one time. Another time that I developed a tennis elbow. Again, this is related to working overtime in front of the computers too much. Originally, when the doctor mentioned that to me, I was shocked. I never played tennis. How come I developed a tennis elbow? And she goes, this is a trending. Okay, you're not alone. And that's because sitting in front of a computer, not doing any breaks, stretching, of course, this is really common now. So I learned that. And also, when I feel that I'm, like mind fog, right? You can't think. That's the good sign that, it really happened to me in a period of time, a couple of weeks. And I was like, this is a good alarm for me to pause. And I don't want to go into the burnout stage.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's great that you've recognized it before it got worse. And so what did you do? You said you paused. What does that mean? Did you stop working?
Right.
What does that mean?
Of course, you want to take a breaks, right? So I have this watch and it alarmed me, it gave me the buzz sound. Yeah. I believe it's every once in an hour or something. Because when you are really so into your project,
exactly.
Presentation and your thoughts you try to catch up your idea, right? Whatever here you want to put, and then it buzzes.
That's great. So it reminds
right?
you.
Don't ignore it.
Yes, yes.
Even 2 minutes, right? You go to the bathroom, take your water, but just move around, right? When you do move around, I have a little techniques that I can show to everyone. You do this, right? Very easy, right? It's not like a hard work. Oh, I have to go to on the machine. Too much, right? And also do this. Well, I mean, in Chinese medicine, we believe in qi, we believe in the energy, we believe, and also related to the blood circulation, right?
Yes.
Enhance it, and it's nurturing your muscles, your skin, your bone, everything, right? So just doing this, right? Yeah, 2 minutes. That's good, right? So that's number one. Number two is I block my calendar. I call it the do nothing time. Really do nothing. Not related to productivity. You don't have any goal, okay? This time. Even 15, 20 minutes, do nothing time, listen to music, you can rest, meditation, do anything, or take a walk around the block, or gardening, but don't have any goal to say, okay, I need to cover this, the whole yard, and to have goal. No goal. Just do nothing.
So you said about 15, 20 minutes. Is that every day? You have
Every day.
Block it? Okay. Is it morning, afternoon, or it doesn't matter? You sort of slot it in there when you do have time.
Right. Usually I would do it in the afternoon because in the morning time, it's really pressure when your mind is clear. You have so the clarity, right? Your imagination, because I write, right? I'm an author, I'm a writer. So in the morning, I write for an hour or so. But after that, of course, you can do some breaks. And in the afternoon, also I take a nap, right? So I take a nap and then I work on some of my projects, and then you need to have your do nothing time.
Okay, so your nap is not part of your do nothing time.
No.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. That means I don't work that long hours. So I have a little bit here, and then the nap, lunch nap, and then another do nothing time. So across the day, you have several mini breaks.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, Lucy, you're the second person on the show that's mentioned napping. So maybe there's something there, there's a trend going, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So I think, is it 3 that you want to share with us or just 2? So the do nothing time, is there any other way that you pause and you sort of reset and recharge?
Right. So it depends on your schedule, right? So my schedule in the morning, I do exercise as well. So exercise is super helpful. It's really uplift your mood, your body and mind and soul, right? Your state per Tony Robbins. So you need to have a state, strategy. I can't remember exactly what he mentioned, but the first one is your whole body, right? Yeah. State. So exercise. I can't say enough about exercise, and of course, meditation or yoga that helps as well. And I do Tai Chi as well. Right. So again, pick one that's really suitable for your schedule and make time for yourself.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, because I believe happiness is in your hand. Yeah. You create happiness and joy instead of waiting for it to arrive.
So true. And it's so true. It's about prioritizing it as well, because it's not just going to happen. I wish it was easier to be healthy, but it's not. Like, it needs to be in your schedule. You need to prepare for it. Like, just like meal planning, you need to plan things in order for them to happen. And, once I heard this, and way back when I was still in Dubai, one of my mentors told me that it's discipline that sets you free. And I was like, what? How can discipline give you freedom? You're stuck, you're disciplined, you're, rigid, but it's really having that discipline to do these things, whether it's in the morning, whether it's in the afternoon, in the evening, right? And it is very important to be disciplined to do it. And then it just becomes a really good habit. And then when you don't do it, you feel like, I feel off. I didn't sleep well. I have the energy that I usually do. My mind wasn't clear. Like, all of these little signs that are telling you, something is off here. So I'm with you on the movement too. I love joyful movement. whenever I can get it in. But you do Taekwondo as well, right? You practice?
Yes.
Taekwondo?
Yeah,
That's
for 6 years now.
nice, nice. And so tell me a little bit more about in terms of, do you believe in work-life balance? Is there such a thing? Or is it sort of something that we need to prioritize, work now, life later? I had another guest talk about, it's not really, some people talk about balance, but other people are actually talking about integrating work with life, sort of weaving it in so it doesn't feel so much pressure in terms of, oh, I need to be at my kids' recital, but I also have a deadline at work. So what do you do there? Right. So it's not really, she's like, some people, it's not just about balance, it's about integrating these lives. So what are your thoughts on this work-life balance? Where are we at? Where do you think we're at?
Right. I like the integration way because everything is about life, right? If you work too hard and you said, okay, I have no life, is that the life that you're pursuing?
Exactly.
No way. And work should be part of life, isn't it? Because you work, it gives you fulfillment. It gives you measurements for more freedom or more choice, either financially or professionally. But the ultimate goal is for you to have a happy life, fulfilling life, right? So for me, of course, I respect the people. They said, okay, work-life balance. Even though I said, okay, work is part of life, still it doesn't really matter. But the whole purpose is you want to have a balanced schedule so that it nurtures yourself and also continue to give you renewal energy and motivation to move forward. So first one, I would say, nurture yourself, fill your cup first. Only when your cup is full, you're able to pour out your love, your energy, your help, your knowledge, experience to others.
Makes sense.
So fundamentally, self-love, self-care goes first. And number two is always try to learn, right? Learn new things and cultivate the relationship. Well, cultivate the relationship, that would be number three, I would say, because when we talked about pandemic, say, for example, back then I was leading a team and I allow my team members to have a very flexible schedule. We do sometimes need to work overtime, but I highly recommend people, my team, not to work overtime. In that way, you have more dedicated time to your family, to yourself, right? And flexibility, say, for example, I give you an example in terms of a flexibility. So I know that some of the team members that they need to pick up their little one or send their little one in the morning and pick up the little one in the afternoon around 3 or something. So I said, okay, before 3 o'clock, so 2:30, go home, right? And then take care of your family until 4 or 5. And then you can make up another 2-3 hours from 5 to 8 or something, right? So I make it very clear. If you tell me this is schedule, I'm totally fine. And for any business meetings that move and schedule in the morning. Right. So I try to accommodate my team members or partners at work. In that way, we'll all realize how important each other's time and respect each other's flexibility.
Right, right.
It's a way for me to really lead, for example, and also give people the empathy and nurture them.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Recognizing that, hey, there are some priorities that may come up outside of work, but as long as you're getting the work done and you're accommodating, I do feel that, and it's somebody, if somebody's going to take advantage of that, let them take advantage and then do something about it, right? In terms of maybe that's not the right company for this person or position. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of people are just genuinely super grateful. And nowadays, I think the statistic is people work even more when they're at home because they have access and it's right there and they kind of, whenever they have. Exactly. So, but for sure, you're going to have those that are going to take advantage of it as well. Let's talk a little bit about like feminine and masculine energy. And this is, Lucy, something that when I was doing the sort of pre-calls, I had no idea that this was going to be a theme in this podcast series. But it's just something that sort of came up. And, my story is I lived and worked in Dubai, and I had to really embody my masculine a lot more than I even thought of doing. I just happened naturally. I was dressing different, speaking different. But then when I came back to Toronto and just helped my mom through her health journey, I found I was more nurturing, and I really felt so much better that I was balancing and it wasn't just one way. So what are your thoughts, or maybe your experience first, even coming to the US? Did you feel like you had to embody the masculine more than the feminine? And maybe just share a little bit of your thoughts on that.
Right. First of all, remember I mentioned I like the integration method instead of separating the work and life.
Yeah.
Well, masculine versus feminine, I want to mention to you that in my mind that everything should be integrated, right? From my Chinese culture, I think I mentioned that to you, that to us, for male, that the figure is, we use the mountain as a symbol, right? Because they are strong, they're tall, they're they are stronger than the female. And for women, they are water. But keep in mind, a mountain could be really with the feminine kind of beauty there. So is the water. Water could be powerful as well. About, flood and ocean.
Waterfalls, right?
Exactly. Yeah, with the energy, momentum, everything. So, but coming back to leadership, of course, it depends on the situation, also the culture, right? You want to show both. And also with how you handle the situation, right? Say, for example, if at the time that at the table that you want to share your thoughts and ideas, and you want to be really clear and firm, right? Not necessarily you shout, you raise your voice. However, standing tall, standing firmly, and stand confidently is part of, seems like masculine. Right. And say, for example, in front of, prior to attending any meetings, I mentioned about, one of my techniques is to open up your arms and to show, I have this strong gesture, I'm very calm, I'm very grounded, and it raises your testosterone hormones. That's scientific evidence over there, right? But I also, at the same time, you want to become a patient, active listener. That's kind of a more feminine side, right? So I wouldn't really separate them both. However, as a woman leader, I'm always showing empathy and being caring. Also, at the same time, I wanted to ask open-ended questions. One example that I want to share with you is one of my clients. She sent me a message and say, can I delay payment or something? So instead of, really strongly pushing back, and I ask open-ended questions. Say, for example, are you having financial difficulties? How can I help you? And she shared, right? She shared, and 1, 2, 3, there are so many things. And I said, I see. Is there anything that I can still help you, right? I was okay with her paying me late. However, a couple of days later, she paid on time. Can you believe that? I would say that's also because I was trying to spend time listening to her story, giving her space, and she prioritized of paying me among all of her struggles. And this is a way to show my feminine power.
Right. Yes, I agree. I agree. So it's true. It is about balancing. We need both. And then sort of understanding that, or being aware that if you're sort of leaning more onto one than the other, there's going to be some stress there. There's going to be some tension. So it's nice. It's a nice way to sort of check, to get you in check, to make sure that you're not leaning more towards one than the other. And this is why it's important. If you are, what needs to change? Something needs to change, whether it's, your own perspective on things, or your own attitude, or maybe it's the position, or maybe it's talking to your boss more, or maybe whatever it is, maybe you have to change companies, whatever it is, but it's not healthy to embody one over the other, especially when one really dominates. So very important. If any women are listening or viewing this, please be aware of that. That's what could be causing some of physical pains that you're having, or physical discomfort, is because you're leaning more towards one energy than the other. And that's what I felt as well. So I love how you've explained this, and the example is amazing. You weren't even expecting it. So it's great. Right. It's beautiful. Right. So I know we talked a little bit about some of the strategies that you do, but I'm going to dig a little deeper, and maybe if you can give 3 more self-care, non-negotiable things that you do for yourself to help you stay grounded, and to help you reset and recharge outside of what we already mentioned.
Right. Yeah. So I mentioned about morning rituals. One thing I want to really stress, I can't stress enough about the meditation. So I do daily meditation once I got up in the morning, went to the bathroom, wash up, or I just immediately go back to my bed. So usually my meditation, I do it lying down. Usually 15, 20 minutes guided meditation, and it gave me a great day.
Yeah.
So sometimes during the meditation, we'll have the affirmation. Sometimes I do it outside of meditation. Say, for example, I'm amazing. I'm beautiful. I love myself. Oh, look at my hand. They're so beautiful. We need praise.
Yes.
And a lot of times we expect other people to recognize us and to give us praises. Why not ourselves? So my philosophy is you got to nurture yourself. So I follow Lucy Chen. I love her. Right? Yeah. Everything is, all of the success and the foundation is self-love. So I want to have the self-love. And of course, I do prayer, and I do my visualization. Sometimes not every day. That's really helpful. And I mentioned about taking breaks. I mentioned about
movement, moving your body.
Do nothing time. Another one, because I'm a writer, I'm an author, I write every day. Writing is a process of nurturing, healing, reflecting. Is helpful for your body, mind, soul. Right? So during my writing, a lot of times that I reflect how fortunate I am. And that's related to what Tony Robbins about, gratitude. And that's actually one of my principles, 7 principles of building resilience. Because you always feel that, I'm blessed, I'm fortunate, and more blessings will come to your way. Just think about that.
Yeah. Attraction, right? You're sending that signal out, and it's going to come back to you. Yes. What are the other 6 principles of resilience?
So the first one is nurturing and healing. Again, this is fundamental, right? Because when we're talking about, building resilience, it's not only just toughing it out. Again, you need to really have your body, mind, soul nurtured, right? So that's number 1. And number 2 is hope. Hope has the miracle there. Hope. And number 3 is gratitude. And number 4 is spirituality. I'm a Christian. Doesn't matter with which religion or what superpowers you believe. Spirituality outside of you that can empower you. That's super important. And number 5 is growth and adaptability. And number 6 is community. Remember I mentioned, connections in the communities, right? And the last but not least is living a simple life. Simplify everything. Get rid of all of the baggages or burdens around you, and you will be so clear, so focused.
Beautiful. So the clearing is like physical stuff, or is it also
everything? Both everything.
Tangible and non-tangible?
Yeah, including streamlining your life. Don't make too much. Don't make too many projects. And in terms of friends, you don't need a whole lot of friends, close friends I'm talking about. You don't need to have too much belongings around you, right? Declutter. So declutter around your physical environment and also your mind, your relationship, everything. Simplify.
I love that. Yes, thank you for sharing those 7 principles of resilience. Beautiful. If you had a full day to yourself with no responsibilities, Lucy, how would you spend it?
Reading, writing, and listening some music. Yeah.
Maybe
Hopefully.
ABBA.
Yes, dancing queen.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. I love that song too. Timeless. Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I just love this conversation. It's just a whole lot of things, a whole lot of stories I can share. I really enjoy it, and especially you said that you're an immigrant. I feel that as an immigrant, we have tons of stories and experiences to share.
Yes, I so agree. Thank you.
I started writing my book, but I had the self-doubt. Okay, first, who will enjoy my book? Right? So I wrote a lot of things about being an immigrant and also the life that my mom and dad that we had many years ago in China. So I mean, is it resonated with others? Right? So I have a lot of self-doubt. And also one of my friends who's also an author, she said, if you don't have like a dramatic life experience, then that would not become a best-selling book and the people would not really enjoy it. So I said, wow, okay. I never really experienced like trauma, that type of, like abusive relationship and were got, put in a prison, whatever, right? So like, and would my book be a good book to read? So I asked myself, and eventually I won 4 awards, no, 5 awards now, because if you include the audiobook, which helped me to win this honorable mention at the Gracie's. Right, so that's my number 5. Wow. Can you believe that? Wow. But just look at my journey. I want to encourage other people to share their stories and to become visible, to become more vocal about their heritage, their culture, and their characteristics. That's why I decided to become a book coach and become a publisher to help others.
Yes. Oh, that's so amazing. And thank you for that. That's beautiful. You had the courage to do that and to share this as well and to break that rule of self-doubt. So what is the piece of advice or recommendation based on your experience that you would give to a high-performing woman who's struggling to cultivate resilience, especially now, these uncertain times, challenging times? What would be something you would recommend?
So if it is one piece of advice, I would say you have the power within you to bounce back. Not only bounce back, but also thrive. Because just think about your darkest moment or your worst day. That means tomorrow will be better.
Yes.
Right? If today is your worst day, tomorrow will be a better day. And you have the power. You define your future.
Yes. Beautiful.
So that's the piece of advice.
And how do you see the role of women's leadership? Because you do a lot of work with women, of course, in women's leadership. How do you see it evolving in the next decade?
Yeah, great question. Just think about historically, women did not have the same equal rights as men. Even now, if we're talking about equality, that's totally another topic to talk about. Don't want to get into the details, but I would say that more and more, you would see that no matter whether it's a grassroots movement or from a top down, people are really aware that women are powerful, women are capable, competitive, and women needs to be included in all of the conversations. So if you're talking about in the future, what I see it's just more and more equal rights and equality over there, including women founders. Say for example, they said, okay, for startup, only 2% of the women or female start our founders to get the funding. So the more and more, I would say, it goes up. Yeah.
It's going to. Yes, you're positive about this. Amazing.
Yeah.
So what is your legacy? What do you hope to leave behind the next generation of women leaders?
Yeah, so I want to say that women are really resilient. And remember, we talked about it earlier, right? We said, okay, men maybe physically are strong, but what I can tell you is women are more resilient. But okay, that's not a game to compete. We want to collaborate, right? Include everyone. But really, to be honest with you, everyone, including if the audience is men, we want to work together, build a stronger community, and each one of us plays a critical role
in doing that. Yeah, thank you. And obviously the help with your books and what you're writing and the concepts in your books, and also the people that you're helping to write their story.
And also one more. I like the title, Uplift Her, right? Uplifting others means that uplifting all of us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Paying it forward, I'm very big on that for sure.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Thank you. So a few fun questions here. If you had or could have lunch with any woman, past or present, maybe even future, who would it be and why would they be invited for lunch?
Okay, I would say Connie Chen. I'm trying to read her book.
Okay, nice.
So it's over here, the memoir.
Yes.
Right? So it's from our chief network. So I got really fortunate to get a copy about her. When I first came to the US 31 years ago, 1994, she's really a big name. Or I mean, she's still very famous. And she's really the face of a Chinese American or Asian American. I do admire her. And I got the chance to speak with her in this webinar at Chief event. So I would want to get her input and make a friend with her if I have an opportunity to have lunch.
Yeah, for sure. Amazing woman, extraordinary. Thank you. So now this might be difficult because you read a lot. So what's a book, a quote, or a mantra that has profoundly impacted your life?
Okay. So Viktor Frankl, right? So he wrote the book, Man of Searching Meaning. I quote his one sentence here on my book cover. So it reads, "We have absolutely no control over what happens to us in life, but what we have paramount control over is how we respond to those events." And just consider that he's a survivor of World War II concentration camp, Auschwitz, right? And so I highly recommend it to, if everyone read his book, you got so inspiration, right? So much inspiration. This quote really resonated with me. So overall, really we control our future and destiny, and really depends on how we respond to all of the events that happen to us, and really call it happen for us, for us to grow, right? Not just, as a victim. Yes.
Really learning from those, no matter how difficult, and they may be so difficult to see in the situation when you're in it, but for most of the things that don't happen, it's a good thing that they didn't happen or they didn't turn out, because then it made room for other things to transpire, or they turned out this way so that you were able to see how to act this way. So I found, and going back to Louise Hay and affirmations, every situation, out of it, any situation, only the best, or only the good, it comes to me. And there's always good out of something. So which is it takes a while to digest as well when it's really shitty, the situation. It's exactly. Really like, why is this happening for me? You just can't see it. But give yourself a little bit of time, step back from the situation, and you'll be like, oh, that's exactly what was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen in that exact way for me to be where I am today. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I heard one of my colleagues saying that there's really no bad decision because every decision always leads to the right one eventually. So, and it also takes away, like gives us power, and it takes away this whole like regret, that, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, I should have done that, and it kind of gives our power back that, hey, it just was meant to unfold in that way. So, and also that response, right? So when things don't work out for you, you're just kind of like, okay, and more accepting of it and be like, okay, I wasn't meant to be there, or I wasn't meant to be invited there, or it'll happen. Like, so we're not just freaking out all the time and these angry, triggered people. We're just more calm and yes, more accepting of these things. Hopefully. So I totally resonate with that as well.
Right.
Okay. If you could give your younger self, and you can pick maybe the one that popped up yesterday during the breathwork session, one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say you will be able to learn and grow. Don't worry much about your future. You will be a life learner.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. So you heard it right here. I'm sure it's touched some of the viewers and listeners for sure. So Lucy, looking back at your amazing journey, your struggles, your challenges, your successes, accomplishments, I mean, you still have, I'm sure, so much more that you want to do and on your bucket list. I'm curious if there are any feelings of longing in any area of your life, and if you feel comfortable sharing that.
Right. It's a really funny kind of dream that I had when I was little. I even dreamed about going to Olympics.
I love it. In which sport? In which category?
Sports. I mean, the reason that I said funny was that I wasn't the strongest. I always got sick, and I was really the slowest in my classes in terms of running, right? And jumping, so I wasn't really good at it and anything. But I had the dream. I really admire people that could go to the Olympics level. And I dreamed to become a sports in that area, but never got the chance until a few years back. This is probably 10 years ago that I started practicing yoga, and of course here and there Tai Chi, and also tied to your question, okay, burnout, right? So I started practicing, and then I started my Taekwondo practice. So this is 6 years ago. And after 5 years, I gained my black belt. So
wow,
I'm still in the journey, and I want to, in my wildest dream, I want to gain the 4th dan, because they have the level, right? So now I'm the 1st dan, and then I'm working on the 2nd dan, but each level is harder and harder. Probably after I reached my 60 years old, I could reach my master, because after the 4th dan, people bow down to me, can call me Master. Yeah. Wow. So I mean, that's kind of in my wild dreams, but I will work on it.
Yeah. You never know. Amazing. That is exciting. Well, I'm going to call you Master Lucy anyway. We don't have to wait for that.
Thank you. I mean, another one is I want to become the face of Asian American, right? Just like a Connie Chan, but not necessarily on TV, but in some other ways, maybe as a publisher. So I can publish a lot of books for Asian Americans. I mean, everyone, right? So you're welcome to join my writing camp. I have the 100 days to write a book camp.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, by the way. So these are a little bit more fun, rapid. These are even more fun. They're rapid fire questions. So they're just like one answer sometimes, one word, and just like very quick, don't overthink it. Just to have a little fun to wrap up this beautiful, beautiful conversation that we just had. So one word to describe you as a leader. One word. How would you? Nice. Morning person or night owl? I think we know this one. Coffee, tea, or something else?
Something else.
Which?
Water.
Okay. Mountains or oceans?
Oceans.
Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Favorite way to celebrate a win, big or small?
Chocolate.
Yes. What's your go-to feel-good movie for a cozy day with chocolate and fuzzy socks? Do you have a favorite movie?
I have a lot of movies. So I'll say maybe Forrest Gump. I feel it's really, it's a good, lighthearted, right? There's some sad scenes still, but I enjoy it.
You can watch that over and over for sure. And if you can instantly, and I think I know the answer to this one, if you can instantly master one new skill, just like that, what would it be?
I think this is stretching.
Okay.
Right? Everyone could stretch.
Yeah.
And just even this, I learned that way because I spent too much time in front of computer.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So you want to learn how to do it more and better and maybe bring your foot over your head, that kind of stretch.
Of course. I'm a yogi and also taekwondo martial artist.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
so
working on
how high can you kick? Can you kick over your head with a straight leg?
depends on what position. Depends on what position and the jumping front kick or the jumping axe kick. Yes, I can. I can kick that high.
Look at you.
And I'm working on the roundhouse kick.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to meet you in person. So yes, we gotta do this. This is really amazing that you are doing so much for that physical body, which is so important.
Yeah.
So at this stage of your life and career, one word to describe what does success mean to you now?
Inspiration.
Beautiful. And if you can gift every woman listening or watching this one thing, tangible or not, what would that be, Lucy?
Write a book because you are amazing. You have amazing story.
We all do.
Every woman.
Yeah, we're all, yes. I mean, it's so true because that's part of the reason why I'm doing this series is because I know everyone's got such an incredible story. And it's funny that you say that because my last guest that I had on, I actually advised her like, wow, your story's great. Write a book. So I might put you into contact with her and let her know. Yeah, she's got a great story, beautiful insights and so many amazing nuggets as well. So anything you want to wrap up with? I know you mentioned you have a course. Is there anything that you want to close this amazing conversation with?
I want to say that you are beautiful. So Rita, I'm talking to you.
Oh, I thought everybody.
I'm also talking to everyone. So you gotta really start off every day, look at mirror, say, I'm beautiful. Okay? Yeah. And believe in it. And you will become more beautiful.
Yes, thank you. So thank you. You're beautiful. Thank you so much. I really thoroughly enjoyed our pre-conversation. This conversation, I am so in awe of how passionate you are to really be helping not only like your community, but everyone really tell their story because it's true. We all have an amazing story to tell and who knows who we might inspire, motivate, really help through a challenging time. Even just reading about it, somebody might feel that they're not alone. They're here with someone or someone went through this as well. Sometimes, oftentimes, especially when it's a challenging moment, you feel so alone. And, loneliness is an epidemic. And this could be such a way to be in a beautiful community. And, just feeling your love and your passion has just been such an amazing privilege for me. And my heart is full of gratitude for you saying yes, replying to my invitation to be here and share your amazing story. So I just want to end with your favorite song, Katy Perry's I Got the Eye of the Tiger, a fighter dancing through the fire. Like your story reminds me of that. So it's so awesome how that is that theme song for you. And maybe we can add a little ABBA as well, Dancing Queen.
The Dancing Queen, yes.
And dance our way through it. And, thank you so much for reminding us to, find that voice, find that roar, because we all have it within us and just have the courage to do so.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my honor to be here. I really enjoyed our conversation. And I hope that my story and also your facilitation, all of your episodes could touch the heart of other women and really uplift them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on Uplift Her Leadership Series, a special segment of the Self-Care Goddess podcast. If this conversation lit something up in you, please share it with a fellow change maker, and let's keep building a new model of leadership together. Follow me on ritasavoya.com and stay connected for more conversations that blend well-being, wisdom, and bold feminine leadership. Until next time, breathe mindfully, live intentionally, thrive gracefully, and remember, self-care is your superpower. Ciao for now.